everybody, my name is Ashton.
And my name is Xander.
And we are your hosts for this series called
Say What?
We are continuing to learn about the incredible statements that Jesus made while he was on earth that made everyone around him say
What?
Today we're talking about when Jesus said, "Humble yourselves and you will be exalted."
Exalted?
That's right. To be exalted means to be honored. Jesus said if we want to be honored, first we have to humble ourselves. Hold on. Hello? Are you serious? Okay, just give me a minute. I'll be right there. That was my mom. Apparently my brother has some friends over and they're about to read my diary live over the internet.
Oh, well, you better get there quick.
I'll be right back. Just teach them about how Jesus said, "Humble yourself and you'll be exalted."
Okay, well, I don't know what humble yourself means, but I do know what exalted means. It means to be honored. So I wonder, how can I honor myself? I got it! Come with me. So, since we are learning all about how to be exalted today, I've decided to crown myself King Awesome. That's right. I am one amazing person. I deserve to be honored and exalted. Now let's go see how my life is better now that I am King Awesome. Out of my way, everyone. I am King Awesome. I don't need to wait in lines. I'm King Awesome. You should feel special drinking behind King Awesome.
Whatever.
Huh. Well, I guess I'm going to need a ride to where I'm going. Let me call my ride. Hello, Mom. Loyal subject. I need to be picked up. What do you mean you can't? I need to be picked up now. I'm not your son. I am King Awesome. Now come pick me up.
What in the world are you doing?
Okay, bye. Nothing much. My mom just grounded me for 2 weeks. This being exalted isn't working out too well.
Are you serious? That is not what Jesus was talking about.
It's not? You said that Jesus said that I would be exalted.
What? No! Jesus said, "Humble yourself and you'll be exalted."
So what does it mean to humble yourself?
Well, that's the key part of the whole thing. When we humble ourselves, we don't put a crown on our head and pretend like we're better than everyone else. We put others first and ourselves last. By treating others as more important, we serve them and help them.
Well, that makes a whole lot more sense than wearing this goofy crown.
That's right. It's only when you humble yourself that God can exalt you to where He wants you to be. He will honor you if you humble yourself.
Well, that's the end of this then. I'm going to humble myself and let God take care of honoring me.
Great idea. Well, we better let you get into your lesson today. You're going to learn about a time when Jesus was at a banquet. He taught the people there a huge lesson about humbling themselves. Until next time, I'm Ashton.
I'm Xander.
We'll see you next time on
Say What?
My name's Squealy McGee. I am an auto mechanic down here at the Busted Knuckle Garage. You know, I love working on cars and trucks. You know why? Because I like using them power tools. Yeah, I sure do. Listen, speaking of power, the whole reason why I'm even here is to teach you the big old power verse. Today's power verse says, "For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Luke 14:11. Well, doggy, that was a mighty fine power verse. Yes, it was. Tell you what, though, I could really use some help learning this thing. So, how about we get the girls to stand up with old Squealy, and let's do this on the count of 3. All right, girls, here we go. 1, 2, 3. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Luke 14:11. Well, that was finer than frog hair, girls. Y'all can have a seat right there. Listen, how about I get them boys to stand up and help old Squealy this time, all right? How you thinking, boys? Let's get on up. Let's do it on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Luke 14:11. Now, that was pretty good. Y'all have a seat. I like that. Tell you what, if y'all sounded any better, well, I'd have to go hire somebody to help me enjoy myself. Hey, let me tell you about this power verse, okay? This power verse teaches us all how to be humble. Listen, if you think you're all that in a bag of chips, well, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. Y'all remember my buddy Rusty, right? Well, the other day he was bragging about how he could fix any carburetor that was put in front of him. He said, "Ain't never been a carburetor that I can't fix." Well, the next day, an old lady came in with her 1936 Chevrolet, and it had a broken carburetor. Old Rusty started bragging, walked over to it, lifted the hood, and he'd never seen a carburetor like this before. He was looking at it all confused. I mean, he had no clue what he was doing. He looked as confused as a dog in a hubcap factory. Well, he had to admit that he did not know how to fix that carburetor. All his bragging got him nowhere. Oh, he was humbled, all right. You got to remember, don't exalt yourself or you will be humbled. I tell you what I need. I'm going to need some help on this. I'd be happier than ants at a picnic if y'all'd help me, okay? Stand up and help old Squealy. We're going to all do it together, boys and girls, all of us. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Luke 14:11. Great job, everybody. Y'all can sit on down. Now, listen. It's about time for me to get on to working on my next car, all right? So I'm going to have to let y'all go. I got to get back to my power tools. Whoo, yeah. So until next time, this is Squealy McGee saying, later on. Woo! What's up, everybody? It's me, the S-K-I to the double T-L-E-S. Skittles in the hizzy, and I'm ready to tell you what's up. Today, we are talking about something so very important, humility. So every time today that somebody asks you, what's up, you tell them. Humble yourself and the Lord will lift you up. Yeah, man, don't be going around talking about how good you are all the time. Oh, I'm the best that there ever was. I can run the fastest, I can jump the highest, and I can sneeze the biggest. Oh, man, don't talk about how good you are. Talk about how great God is. Put others first and you last. So anytime somebody asks you, what's up? You tell them. Humble yourself and the Lord will lift you up. And that's what's up. I got a rainbow flavor and I'm living for my Savior. Skittles out, baby. Yeah.
Good morning, my Mandarin microchips.
Good morning, Tammy Twist. What are you doing?
Getting ready. Get ready with me. Reach down and touch your twinkling toes.
No thanks.
Oh, come on, silly. Take your twinklers and touch your twinkling toes.
No, I'm good. I don't want to.
Touch your twinkling toes.
Yeesh! You are scary when you do that.
Sorry. I'm good now. My super happy Fun Time Go-Go juice really helps me.
Super happy what?
Super happy Fun Time Go-Go juice. It's my energy drink, full of all kinds of good stuff. It has electrolytes, B vitamins, C vitamins, gummy bears, gummy worms, gummy snakes, gummy bacteria, sparkles, glitter rainbows, kitten cuddlies, puppy lasers, fairy fungus, and a super secret ingredient.
Is that super secret ingredient sugar?
Yes it is.
What does it taste like?
I can't feel my tongue. Sorry. Good. It tastes good. I need it for my big competition.
What competition?
I'm glad you asked. It's the 23rd annual Totally Terrific Tongue Twisting Tournament this weekend, and I'm gonna crush the competition. I mean, I already am the best in the world. I won the last 4 years in a row. I'm kind of a queen at tongue twisters by now. I like that. Queen Tammy, everyone bow before the queen.
I wouldn't take it that far.
Bow down! Sorry. No, but seriously, you should bow down before me. I'm the best in the world.
Uh-oh. Sounds to me like you need to hear today's lesson about how we should humble ourselves.
Humble ourselves? Why should I humble myself when I'm the tongue-twisting queen?
That may be true, but you're not perfect. Don't think of yourself as number one, Tammy.
But I am.
But that doesn't mean you're better than everyone else. We're all God's creation. He doesn't see any of us as better than one another. He loves us all the same. And it even says in the Bible that if we don't humble ourselves, we will be humbled, whether we like it or not.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound very fun.
It sure doesn't. Think about Jesus. He was God's son. While he was on earth, he could have made himself king and ruled over everybody, but instead, he served others.
Oh, I am not going back to being a waitress. My arms can't handle carrying food. And a little known fact, I'm allergic to menus. I break out in hives. Can't even look at a drive-thru.
How can you be allergic to... Never mind. That's not what I meant. Jesus helped people. He wants to do the same thing. And if you choose to be humble, you will be exalted.
Exalted? Not exalted. Anything but exalted. What does exalted mean?
It means you'll be praised. If you humble yourself, God will reward you.
Sweet action! Oh my goodness. I'd much rather be awarded by God than be a tongue twister queen. That sounds wonderful. I'll see you later, boys and girls. I got some more stretching, warming up to do if I'm going to serve people. Until next time, this is Tammy Twist saying toodaloo.
Bye! Today's Bible story is found in the book of Luke, chapter 14. Jesus had been invited to a banquet at the home of one of the Pharisees. This happened a lot in Jesus' time. The Pharisees were the religious leaders of the time. They were always inviting Jesus to their gatherings because they wanted to try to trap him into saying something wrong. While Jesus was at the banquet, he noticed that many of the people were trying to sit as close as they could to the head of the table. They were doing this because those were the important seats. In those days, the closer you were sitting to the head of the table, usually the host of the banquet, the more important everyone knew you were. Jesus began to teach them something very important. He said, "Don't sit in the seat of honor. Instead, take a lower seat." Say what? Jesus was encouraging everyone to sit at the lowest position and let others take the better seat. That totally went against the way everyone at the time thought. Jesus went on to say, if you sit in the lowest seat, the host of the banquet may say to you, "My friend, please come closer to me. We have a special spot of honor up here for you." But if you sit in the place of honor, someone more important may come in the banquet and you will have to get up and move so they can have the honored spot. Then Jesus said the big statement that we are studying today. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus said that if you try to make yourself number one, then you will probably embarrass yourself. Nobody should try to make themselves number one. Instead, we should put others first. If we do that, God can place us in the place of honor that He desires for us. In this lesson today, you are going to learn how to humble yourself. The only way to do it is to follow the example that Jesus set for each of us. It's not always easy, but God will honor you if you choose to humble yourself. Today I'm going to need a couple of volunteers to help me.
Pick
Me.
Okay, these two are going to help me teach today's lesson. It's going to be great. In today's Bible story, do you remember where Jesus had been invited? That's right, to a banquet. Well, it just so happens that this young lady has been invited into a banquet. Now, there is something you have to know about this young lady. She really thinks she is super important. She's one of those people who thinks she's better than everyone else. She's always talking about how amazing she is at everything.
I have to say I am amazing at everything.
She's always showing off all the money that she has.
I have so much money. I'm so important.
As she enters the banquet, she makes sure to sit at the right next to the head of the table so that everyone will know just how important she is. She is doing something that is the opposite of what Jesus wants us to do. Jesus never wants us to think of ourselves as number one. That's why He taught everyone at the banquet not to do what she just did. She can learn a very important lesson from ourselves. Don't think of yourself as number one. Pride says, I'm number one. Pride only looks at me. When you think of yourself as number one, you don't care about how much anyone else hurts or how anyone else feels. Pride decides to only hang out with people you like instead of those who need friends. Pride is all about putting myself and my wants ahead of others. After all, I'm number one. God did not create us to be prideful, selfish people who think of ourselves as number one. Jesus said, anyone who exalts himself will be humbled. That means when you put yourself number one, you will eventually be shown to be not as important as you think. This young lady who came to this banquet and took the most important position, she has no idea that she is about to be humbled. She has no idea that someone else has been invited to the banquet. She is the cousin of the host of the banquet. How many of you know that the host is going to want her to sit close to the head of the table at the place of honor? That's right. All of a sudden, this young lady who thought she was so important has to get up from her seat and move down to the end so that the cousin can sit at the place of honor. Just like Jesus warned, whoever exalts himself will be humbled. Give our two volunteers a big hand. Thank y'all. We must not make the mistake of trying to exalt ourselves like the person did. Instead, we must choose to humble ourselves. How do you humble yourself? By following the example of Jesus. Jesus showed us that the way to humble yourself is to serve others. Everywhere he went, Jesus put others first. Instead of saying, I'm number one, Jesus showed us that others were more important by serving others. He prayed for others, helped others, healed others, fed others, and even bled and died for the sins of others. Jesus did not think of himself as number one. Jesus lived in a way that put others ahead of him. It's not easy, But we must follow Jesus' example. He never once demanded that people treat him as king that he was. Instead, he took on the role of a servant and put others first, himself last. Can you imagine a group of kids would look like if they lived like this? Others first, me last? I imagine that every kid in the city would want to come to church because they knew they would be treated with kindness, love, and care. Maybe you say, well, if I always put others first, then I will never have what I need. I will never be able to take care of my needs if all I do is serve others. That's not what Jesus seems to say in the big statement today. He said, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. That means choose to be humble and God will exalt you. God knows where you are. He knows what you need. If you take care of the needs of others, God will take care of you. God will exalt you where he wants to. Don't try to exalt yourself. Don't put yourself in the place of honor. Instead, choose to be humble, serve others, and just watch how God honors you.